LSU and South Carolina game yesterday averaged 1.56 million viewers. Like, this is a huge deal. This is absolutely a huge deal. The ratings came out, and I want to talk about it because I think that regardless of what you thought about the game or whatever, yesterday's game was a huge win for women's basketball, period. Absolutely is a great thing. So I'm not going to talk about the actual game and what happened. However, I do want to talk about the viewers because I thought that was super, super impressive. So according to On3.com, the ratings were 1.56 million for yesterday's game. And this is the second highest ratings for women's basketball this year, or this season, I should say. So the Iowa and versus Ohio State game that happened earlier this month, that game had more viewers. That game was on NBC, and that game had 1.86 million viewers. Yesterday's game had 1.5. So again, second best ratings for women's college basketball this season. Huge, huge, huge numbers. That game yesterday was the second highest rated women's game since 2010. So a week or so ago, Iowa and Ohio State made records as the most watched game since 2010, and now this one is the second best game since 2010. Like this, the game is growing leaps and bounds, and I just wanted to talk about it because I thought that this was pretty impressive. I thought that this was pretty impressive for women's basketball as a whole, regardless of what you thought about who won and who didn't win. So let's see what y'all got to say about this 1.56 million. Nolan put 1.5. Yeah. Yep. J-Spot Network says the ratings for LSU South Carolina game were crazy. So happy for women's basketball right now. Yeah, facts. Absolutely facts. And again, I said it already, but like this game was super important for women's basketball, regardless of if your team won. And it was one of those things where it was sort of like a culture victory. You know, it's like, you know how people say like it's for the culture. Like it really felt like yesterday was for women's basketball as a whole. Yeah, Shree said the game was it. Didn't realize the NBA had a game on the so the game yesterday was the highest rated game yesterday. So the LSU versus South Carolina game had more viewers on average than the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics on TNT. Like, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. Kentucky Lucky says that's awesome, great ratings. Plus, I wonder if that counts streaming handheld devices. I would assume it does. But yeah, I would assume it. I would assume it does. Janae said these college students need a check cut to them. I mean, they're getting NIL stuff, so you know that's their paycheck of sorts, kind of, because they're quote unquote amateurs in the NCAA. Still, RC says women college basketball itself, though, super awesome, super magnificent. Absolutely. I see some of y'all talking about, specifically y'all talking about the games, like what happened in yesterday's game. I'm not going to talk about, you know, what actually happened in the game itself. I'm just going to talk about the viewers and what happened on that front. Behind the Arc podcast says they better stop sleeping on women's basketball. It's actually entertaining. Facts. Absolutely. Women's basketball is entertaining. It is very much entertaining, and people will watch. Clearly, people will watch. Kelsey says, which team was playing in the game in 2010? Sorry, I just came in. I did not do the research on that. So I am sorry about that. I don't know. I will do the research on that later, and then I'll circle back and let you all know. I am not sure, Kelsey. I do know that this is the second best ratings that women's college basketball has had since 2010, but I can't remember the game in 2010 that was at the time the most. Joylyn says, and I don't appreciate how ESPN glossed over the game today. Very disrespectful to women's basketball / sports. I will say that I would much rather them ignore the game and what happened than to force people who probably didn't watch the game and or may not care to talk about it. Because I've seen segments where it felt like some of the commentators on ESPN was forced to talk about women's basketball, and it was awkward and it wasn't great. And so, I'd rather that happen, where you don't talk about it than it be a awkward situation where it feels like the person is forced to sort of talk about women's basketball. Though I think it would have been great to have someone like a Carolyn Peck on today to sort of talk about the game and what happened, because it would have been nice to have somebody from yesterday's game come on and sort of talk about what happened. But yeah. Let's see. Kentucky Lucky said Saturday game was right before NFL playoff game, and yes, Caitlin Clark plays Ohio State University, biggest alumni. But incredible. Hope that shuts up these guys putting down women. I mean, it probably won't. But it is what it is. Shree says women's basketball is making a huge resurgence for real. I'm hoping it transfers over to the WNBA. I hope so. I really hope so. I really hope so. J-Spot Network says yesterday felt like a championship game. I even had guys who don't normally watch women's basketball texting me because they were so into the game last night. A win for us. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that's a huge win for people who don't necessarily watch women's basketball, for them to pay attention to that game. I think that's huge. Whether that's, they're watching because of a one particular player, whatever. They're watching and they're enjoying it. I think that's great. I absolutely think that's great. Ree Bradley says, I'm following it more than men's basketball. Facts. I mean, me too. Waverly says, great for women's basketball. Reminds of the Tennessee versus UConn rivalry. Yeah, that was a rivalry though. This will definitely upgrade the coverage for the SEC tournament. South Carolina LSU Part 2. Yes. I cannot wait till the SEC tournament happens, because we're going to see some big numbers again. We are going to see some big numbers. Shree says, honestly, I think college men's basketball going to take a hit in ratings overall. You think so? I think it feels like people are still watching men's college basketball, though the growth in women's college basketball seems to be greater than the growth of men's college basketball, for sure. For sure. Let's see. What else, y'all guys? Because we're gonna move on shortly to our next topic, which is USA basketball. Actually, maybe, yeah, we're gonna move over to USA basketball in just a sec. So, is there anything else y'all want to talk about for yesterday's game? Not the actual gameplay that happened on the court, but for what this means for women's college basketball, and also the fact that we had, again, I'm gonna say it again because it's so awesome, 1.56 million people on average that watched yesterday's game. And again, that was competing against the Celtics versus the Heat. And, you know, that was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Oh, let's see what else y'all got to say. Also, if y'all get that like button, that would be really, really awesome. That'll help more people find the channel. If you could hit that like button. We got 17 likes. If we can get to 50 likes, that would be phenomenal. There's some talk about the WNBA and who might get another team. Janae said South Carolina will get got. Charles says game day crew disrespect Louisiana culture, how they have picked over the king cake. Well, so for those who didn't watch, it was during the college game day thing that started at 6. I think this was sort of like in the second half of that, so like around like 6:30 or so. They Holly Rowe brought in the cake, and I guess it was supposed to be a baby inside, and they and they all used these plastic forks and was like digging around. I don't think they ever found the baby. I don't know anything about Louisiana culture, so not sure if that, like Charles is saying, that's disrespectful. I'm not totally sure because I don't know anything about that. But it was kind of odd how they were sort of picking over that stuff, and the fact that they never found the baby. That was pretty interesting. Shree says college game day should come to UConn versus South Carolina. Yes, absolutely. That's gonna be a big game. That's gonna be a big game. Mo says wish they played each other twice. They might play each other twice when it gets to SEC tournament play. They might. RC says the viewership is everything. It is, yeah, absolutely. Waverly says the women's college game is bigger right now. Case in point, name the major stars in the men's game. There's a truckload of stars on the women's game that people know by name. So I get what you're saying, Waverly. I really do get what you're saying. I feel like the reason why you might think that also is because you're a big women's basketball fan. Like, I cannot name any men's college basketball stars. That's because I don't really watch men's college basketball. I used to. I don't really watch it anymore. So I don't know any of the stars or anything. And I wonder if there's like some big men's college basketball fans. I wonder if they could name. I mean, they probably could name Caitlin Clark. They probably could, and they probably could name Angel Reese. But besides that, they probably couldn't name very many people either. Yeah. Bean Up says spotted Kateri Poole in the stands at the game yesterday. Ooh. So here's the thing. I know I said we were not going to talk specifically about the game, but I don't think this is specific about the game, but I'm going to say it. So I wonder if Kateri Poole ends up back on this team. Yes, she was dismissed from the program. However, she hasn't transferred. As far as I know, she hasn't transferred yet. So I wonder by the end of February, could we see Kateri Poole back on this team? Because they really do need her. We will see. We will see for sure. Yeah, the King Cake segment was definitely cringeworthy. Yeah. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. Yeah, it was. Nolan, I completely agree. I completely agree. What up, honestly? Honestly says, what it do, Q and fellow awesome people of the internet? What up, awesome people of the internet? Nolan says, honestly said, smash that like button, y'all. Yeah, women's basketball is popping. Absolutely. But Shree, I don't think they ever found the baby. Did they? Did they ever find the baby? Did they ever find? Oh, Courage, you're right. Yeah, Bronny. Yes, Bronny is the only men's college basketball player I can name. Yes, and then actually no, I can name Mikey Williams because he's dealt with a lot of legal stuff. So Bronny James and Mikey Williams. Those are the men's players that I can name. Kentucky Lucky says Angel Reese's cousin on UConn. Yes, I know that Angel Reese's cousin plays on UConn. I have no idea what his name is. No disrespect, but I have no idea what his name is. But I do know him as Angel Reese's cousin.